Welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, your weekly dose of strategies and mindset tools to build a business in alignment with your purpose and get you playing a bigger game. I'm your host, Nicole Lano. Hello and welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and we are here today together for a solo episode. And I think I'm calling this is rocket fuel for manifesting generators because I work with a lot of manifesting generators. I'm a manifesting generator myself. I work with a lot of generators in general, but a lot of people who come into my world are manifesting generators. One, I think that's the entrepreneurial space is very filled with manifesting generators. I think it's a natural place for us to end up. We like to be creative. We really don't like to be told what to do, and we move fast. So I think that this is kind of a hospitable space, a playground for manifesting generators. And this is something that I have seen come up again and again and again with people lately. And I wanted to highlight it here on the show. That's what I do. So first of all, this is going to be a little touch of some of the things that we're going to be covering in the masterclass coming up on Wednesday, March 8th. Super excited about this. Honestly, I should have made this masterclass. It's one day. It's just a one and done kind of masterclass. It's going to be super jam-packed with value. I'm going through the material now. I'm putting it all together and I'm like, I should have made this like 5 days, but I didn't want to take up all of that time, have people showing up for 5 days. I don't have 5 days to show up for things anymore. So I'm sort of trying to be respectful of people's time, but I'm like, oh my God, there's so much that I want to teach. So I highly recommend you coming because it's going to be crazy value packed. And it's really about how you can make more while doing less. That's what we're calling it, how entrepreneurs can up to 2x their revenue while doing less, and using my method of human design for my way of teaching human design for peak performance, for really being able to trust yourself so deeply and knowing what moves are correct for you to make and being able to go 1,000 miles per hour toward those goals and to do that uninhibited. And really, what I'm teaching in here, one of the aspects that I'm teaching is something that I call the authority matrix. And the authority matrix are key aspects of your chart, of each person's chart, that I'm using to sort of put together how you can become an authority to yourself, because that needs to come first. And I did a whole episode on this last week, which I highly recommend you checking out. It's the one on authority, how to become an authority according to your human design. Go listen to that one if you want to dive deeper into it and come to the masterclass if you want to go really deep with us on this. But it's about becoming an inner authority to yourself so that you are what I term unshakable. You are unshakable in yourself. And that's what people feel. That's what you project out. That's what they get from you. Then the other side is the way that you become an authority to others, how you present yourself, how you stack your offers, how you show up online, how you can show up. What's your vibe for being an authority in the marketplace? And I have my way. I show up a certain way that's authentic to me and that people respond to because of that. And then there's going to be your way. And I'm going to show you kind of how I put together this little cocktail of and this is how you get to your essence and your authority. So please come to that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so cool. You can register for free. I don't do many free masterclasses anymore, but I'm doing this one for free because I'm just really excited about it. And I've checked in with myself and I was like, this one feels right to do for free. So you can sign up for free at nicolelano.me/masterclass. And you'll get all the goodies there. Okay, so let's dive into this episode. Rocket fuel for manifesting generators. You guys kind of already are rocket fuel, right? Manifesting generators move fast. Now, the reason this is an episode for manifesting generators and not generators is we're going to be specifically talking about this idea that manifesting generators are multi-passionate. We are multi-passionate beings, and what does that mean and how does that show up for us? It doesn't mean that the other types can't have lots of passions, but it's not going to be quite as what can be in the low expression kind of schizophrenic for manifesting generators, or we can just be these crazy energizer bunnies running around, grabbing at things and having so much fun with so many different things. Normally, a manifesting generator will have 6 books on their nightstand, a couple different podcasts going. There's always this kind of feeding the beast of what's turning me on right now. And we're turned on by a lot, and it doesn't have to be related. So I did another episode a while back on how manifesting generators can stay focused. So, and we talked about being multi-passionate, and we talked about how to not distract yourself, to know the difference between when you're being distracted and when you're being multi-passionate. But now I want to talk about it a little bit differently, because I've seen some people getting stuck, not in being too multi-passionate, but actually thinking that they need to be tied down to one thing. It's the either or. And feeling like they need to, there's a kind of a productivity aspect to this. Like if you read books like Atomic Habits and things like that, traditional productivity, they'll tell you to focus on one thing. And it's true when you want to like time block and do things like where I'm focusing on something for 10 minutes. But I want you to think about this. We can take that too far. And what I see manifesting generators will get stuck when you're trying to decide an either or situation for yourself. We don't do or. You will get locked up, particularly if you have an open head and or an open ajna. You will have this spin, right? The way that it'll work is you'll be like, I got to figure this out. I got to see, am I going to do this or am I going to do this? And the manifesting generator in you is like, we don't choose things. And your sacral is like, but I love them both. And then your head goes, but we got to figure this out. And that cycle just continues and continues and continues. What you want to do is to start looking at things as you're going to have 3 balls in the air, kind of all the time. And the best way that you can rev your engine and get going is to have multiple things happening at once. This will keep you from getting bored, which is the killer for generators of any kind, but certainly Mani-Gens. If we are bored, we are out of the game. You will have no energy or desire to do anything if you are bored. So how do you keep yourself interested? You have a lot of interests. You have a lot of things going on. So you have a lot of things in your energy that if you can shift gears, if you can shift to, I'm working on this thing right now, and then when the excitement starts to wane on that, then you shift to the other thing. Now that's the day-to-day. But when you're in the decision-making process, when you're in this, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? The question is, how, if I'm truly lit up by both of them, how can I do both? How can I let the excitement for both of them fuel both of them and fuel the other things that you're working on? Because the more excited you are as a generator, any kind of generator, the more excited you are, the more amazing energy you're going to bring to everything that you do. Suddenly, the task that doesn't seem exciting at all, it's not how it works. It's not how it works where, so I'm super excited about recording this podcast and I'm going to do like podcast batching. So I'm all excited about that. And I am turned on AF about the podcasts that I'm recording that day. And now I'm like, and then I record them and I'm still going and I'm super excited. And then I look over and I see this other thing that I've been working on. Maybe I'm getting super excited about creating graphics for something. And I'm like feeling really creative and I get really creative with that. And I'm like, so now I'm bringing great energy to both projects because I'm using that momentum. And now I have to do something that I don't really want to do, but I know I have to get it done. I can carry this great energy. I can ride that wave into the thing that I don't want to do. You can absolutely do that. And you should absolutely be riding these waves of awesome energy to get those things, because we live in a real world where we have to do things that we don't love all the time. But can you be doing 80% things you love and only 20% things that you don't? And can you kind of wrap them and bookend them in, wrap them up and sandwich them between awesome things that you love to do? That's the game. When you can learn to be rolling with that, then you have this beautiful momentum. It's like you catch a downhill slope constantly where you get to kind of ride it and you don't have to be pushing. That's what it's like to work with your energy. That's how you get to bring great energy to the things that you do. and let that do a lot of the work for you. Let that be how you show up. Okay? So really the key here is when you're making decisions to not look at them. I had a client, so where this all came from, I had a client that was like, well, I want to do this, but I also want to do this. And I don't want to do this thing. And she was trying to figure out, but the thing she didn't want to do was the thing that made her money. And I'm listening to her and I'm saying, like, well, be lit up by the things that are exciting and are not making you money just yet. You get to do both, because she was looking at it like, I have to leave the thing that I don't like that makes me money, and I have to throw all security away. And then in order for me to do the things that excite me and light me up. Now, for some people, jumping off the bridge is the way to go. Like, that's correct for them. Those big, bold leaps. Some people it's not. Particularly if you're a 1 or a 4 line, foundation is going to be a little bit more important to you. And that may really rock your world. And that's not I'm very careful with telling people when they should leave. And I do look at their design, and we make those decisions together in a way that where they feel 100% sure of the risk that they're taking. We never know how it's all going to work out, but do you trust your process? Did you follow your process into that? This was not that. This was her mind. This was her mind getting involved, saying, should I do this? Should I do this? I don't want to do this anymore, but it pays my bills. I want to do this, but I'm not making any money out of it. What do I do right now? I can only do one or the other. I can only do one or the other two. And I was like, you have to look at this holistically and get yourself excited by researching these things that you want to do. Maybe you're doing one thing with them. You're looking at really big picture down the road, how you would build out this whole big thing. Can you start with one piece of that and get yourself so turned on and excited by it? Can you get your juices flowing? Can you get your sacral lit up over these things? And then do the other thing that is not as fun for you and lend this other magic to it. It can work this way. It takes some practice, but it requires you have to get lit up, because when you get stuck in a rut doing a job, say that because you're doing it for the paycheck and you can't leave just yet, what you have to do is you have to build up this reservoir of great energy doing other things that you love. And it doesn't even have to be business oriented, but it can help to say, like, these are the 3 balls in the air. This is the way that how you can show up, do a little bit of that work that you don't want to do, and then go do the thing that you love. And then go back to the thing that you don't want to do, and then go to the thing that you love. It might take you longer. You might not have the greatest results with everything right away. It's going to take some momentum and some practice to get used to doing it this way. But I promise you will have more fun. And I promise you, eventually it's going to start to work where you are creating something new in this space of, I don't want to do it anymore. Either there's going to be so much momentum that synchronicities start happening where the thing that you want to do, the opportunities are starting to be attracted to you. You're starting to pull those in. As a generator, that's what we do. When you're in good energy, the right people, the right opportunities, the right breaks are going to come your way. And that path will be opened. And then when you go to do the other thing, the key is just don't fall into your sacral just being like, no, 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 no. If you romance your sacral enough with good stuff, it will be with you for the other things that don't feel 100%. If you know that it's leading you somewhere, if it's an exit strategy, get excited by the exit. Get excited by the idea that you can say goodbye to this eventually. It's sort of like, look at it like romancing your partner. If you needed your spouse to go dress shopping with you, which I don't know about you, but my husband would rather die. And he usually ruins most of those experiences because he's just got this like, oh God, I gotta go. But if I did really nice things for him for a couple days before we had to go, and I was super sweet, and maybe I did some other things that earned me some extra points that I won't mention here, but I do all of these things to get him really revved up, and I romance that man, and then we go dress shopping, then he's on board, and he's in a space where he's like, I'll do whatever you want now, babe. That's what you want. Romance the sacral. You will be happier for it. Things will work out. Life will get easier, and you're welcome. So I'm going to leave it here. I want this one to be short and sweet. I want you to come to the masterclass on the 8th. It's going to be awesome. If you want more of this, you want to see more of how you can be more productive, how you can have more and better results without necessarily having to work more. And if you want to learn your authority matrix for how you show up in your most authentic and powerful self, then come to the masterclass. We're going to explain all of that there. Okay? You can sign up for free at nicolelano.me/masterclass. And if you would like to be entered into the contest for this month to win a free spot on this show, you could come and win a human design reading coaching session right here on the show. All you have to do is leave a review on iTunes for this show, take a little screenshot of that review, post it in your Instagram stories, tag moi at Nicole Lano Official, and that's your entry. That's all you have to do. It's so easy. And then we will draw the winner at random at the end of the month and let you know if you won. And you can come on here, plug your business, introduce yourself to the audience, and get a free HD reading and be super fun. All right. Well, everybody, I'm going to leave it here. Hope to see you at the masterclass. In the meantime, you are only limited by the limitations that you accept. When you stop accepting those limitations, that is when you become limitless. So go out there, be limitless, everyone, and I will see you in the next episode. If you loved this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you want to stay in touch with us, we would love to have you as a part of our Facebook community, Practical Manifestors. It's a community for process-driven women looking for clear and actionable steps to embodying a life of wealth and alignment. Join us at Practical Manifestors in Facebook or go to www.innerceogroup.com.